believe. Doing my best to push forward. And, I would like to hear from you guys about what you do to help with your mental health. If you're willing to share that with us. Just give me a few seconds to get this poll started. And we'll go from there. Have a nice cup of coffee, have a nice chat. Feeling all right this morning in comparison. It's been a fluctuation lately. The weather and the holidays and all of these things. Anyway, let me focus on this. Can't do two things at once because of my... Let's do it like that. Signs, how you doing, brother? Hey, what's good? Life in general this morning, my friend. It's good to see you here. And are you willing to share what helps you with your mental health? That's the primary focus, I guess, today. Pushing forward and putting the work in so that we can find a place outside of that pain and struggle. And as always, we'll roll the dice. Or, well, not as always, but we'll roll the dice again. Since you liked, I know you liked because you're the only one in here, good sir, but if you say it, I'll roll the dice for you. And then we'll push forward. We got a $5. I'm going to give you another one, Signs. And another $5. I guess you kind of bet on that one. But if you want to give us a quote or just share anything with us that kind of helps you with that struggle, if you do struggle with that. Slow and steady, I guess. I'm going to try to... Oh, Jesus. Anyway, try to move forward to the best of our ability. It's been a struggle lately, good sir. But we've got to take it one day at a time. Slow and steady. Don't know what the hell I'm talking about. Moving forward. That's what we're talking about. Our mental health. The holidays and how much of a struggle that can be for us as well. I hope your holidays are going well, good sir. And I hope, a cup of coffee, some good friends, some motivation, some inspiration, some hope, despite the struggle that we find ourselves in. That's the goal of today, is to put the work in to find a stable place of emotional well-being. Make a little list here of mine and some of your coping mechanisms, possibly, some of these things that we do to alleviate the struggle of our mental health. I'd really be appreciative to hear from you guys and what's put the chat filter on all messages. This is where we see everybody, and I recommend you all do the same. But the first one, let's start with one. Slow and steady. What that means. Starting off easy. Starting off with the simple things that'll help us to alleviate this struggle that we find ourselves in. Signs, how to get girls, even though I'm 4 foot tall, no good faced girls who want to get near me. Signs, I think that this is more about working on ourselves today, brother. I think that will help you get girls, good sir. That'll help. It's confidence, right? It's security in oneself. And if you're struggling with some mental health things, if you're struggling with some confidence issues, that'll be a big hindrance on women in your life. And I understand that from firsthand point of view. Captain Planet, he says. Well, Captain Planet, when all 5 whatever unite, we have good sir Captain Planet. But anyway, slow and steady is the first thing on our list today that helps me. And under that understanding, make any move towards the light and away from that whisper that consumes you. Shalom, there he is. It's good to see you guys today. Claim your role if you want by saying like, I know you guys did like, obviously. But we're trying to make a list today. We're going to make a list today. We're going to put the work in to start our journey to becoming what's it? Emotional sobriety, as the big dog would say. I never really understood completely what he meant, but we're going to evaluate that. And number one is definitely slow and steady. Take it easy on yourself, and move forward to the best of your ability, and give yourself the credit for these things, these simple things you might do. Prayer deeply. Faith, I like that. Breath work, I'd like that too, brother. Breath work's a beautiful one. Thank you, Chillum. And it's one of those things that we look past that truly help, especially when we're in this manic mode, whether it be anxiety, depression, or grief, bipolar disorder, whatever, addiction. I think that working on breath work for me helps me to control the chaos of it and find a center. So yes, that's a good reminder. And these things too are yeah, breath work. Chillum. Thank you, Chillum. We'll credit you for that one, good sir. And prayer. I like that as well. Faith. Giving up to a God of your understanding in the place it may be. I appreciate it. Chillum. Sites. My mental health is getting worse day by day. How can I be handsome and so that girls will want me? I don't think the handsome thing's the biggest thing there, Signs. And if your mental health's getting worse by day, then we're going to have to address that, Stop worrying about the outside validation, this codependence that drives us, and figure out a way to find solace inside our own hearts. I think is the biggest thing, and let go of these expectations in what we want and what we feel like we need. Because that's never going to work if we don't find solace inside ourselves. That's the biggest advice I can give you with that, good sir. Look up box breathing. Okay, let's put that down under box breathing. I want to take a look at that. Box breathing, right? Is that what you said? Look up box breathing. Yes. Going in with Chillum's breath work. I think the breath work goes in with the slow and steady, right? Finding our way back into this moment through focusing on what we control. And if you can't control anything else, you can control your breathing. Bring down your heart rate, find a bit of acceptance and appreciation. And I'm going to look into this box breathing and exactly what it means, brother. I appreciate that very much today. Chillum, box breathing. My Navy SEALs do combat to keep their cool. That's what they do in combat to keep. That's awesome. I appreciate you sharing that. So my mental health is getting worse day by day. Box breathing. Look it up. I'm gonna look it up, brother. I'm gonna look it up. W. Hello, Scott. So glad to see you. Hope all is well. I need this today. At work, I'll be lurking. Hello, chat. Thank you, W. Well, I appreciate having you here today, Scott W. We're doing a little bit of work today. There's number 4. Put the work in. What does that mean? That's what we're doing right now. Let's define some things that'll help us with our mental health. This box breathing thing, Scott W., if you didn't catch that, is something we're going to look into. Slow and steady, and faith of a God of your understanding. To have faith in this moment, to have faith in yourself, is what we've come up with so far together. Put the work in, right? I'm not kind of feeling a little bit off, a little whatever today, but we're gonna boom, my man, mirror this video. Yeah, I wish I could, boom. I wish I knew how to do that, but it seems like randomly it decides it doesn't want to. Let's see what this one does. That doesn't do schnizzle snap. How would I do so? Boom, you want to help me out with that? You know a little bit about something? I know this is probably backwards because that's what it likes to do to me. But if you want to roll the dice, like, share, subscribe. And take a chance today. Look, there's a 10. You would have got yourself up under the ceiling of champions. Chill 'em. I am at work too, but saw the notification and wanted to stop in and communicate. It's good that you're reaching out and asking suggestions, Scott. Thank you. Chill 'em. Reaching out, right? That's a big one that I look over a lot. Reach out to friends, family. Reach out on YouTube is something that hit me recently. You know, search these things. There's a lot of people out there giving suggestions, which is some of the work that I'm going to be doing moving forward. Misled Utopia. God, Rob, it's so good to see you today, brother. Willing to share any techniques or coping mechanisms you have to deal with your mental health, your stress levels, or life in general. That's what we're focusing on today. Slow and steady, though. Nice and easy. We're going to be all right. Misled Utopia liked. Of course he did. He always does. We got you a 6 there, good sir. And there's doubles right there. Misled Utopia. Let's give you a spot right up here. How's that sound? I don't know how well we're going to do today with the pen, but we're going to do the best we can with what we got. This pen doesn't like writing upside down, so maybe we'll skip the upside downs today. Or I just killed this pen we had. Well, roll with the punches, right? The best we can do. I appreciate you, Misled Utopia. You need to laugh before you sleep. Watch comedy before bed. Program suggested for good sleep and good next day. I appreciate that advice. That's an amazing piece of advice, for sure. Laugh before bed. Let's say that's number 6. We're gonna take that to heart, there, good sir. We're gonna laugh before we go to bed. I like that suggestion a lot. And you're right. Part of this thing is losing track of all of this. Let's say, little quotes. We'll put movies / comedy. Yeah, find a place of levity in your life. Release those endorphins. And find a way to let go and be in this moment. Thank you, Misled Utopia. How can I girls with my eyes and make them like me? There's a way to do that. Is there a way to do that? Look it up on YouTube and let us know, Science. And Walters, or W. I don't want to always, whatever. One of them days. A little off, a little anxious, but we're moving forward, putting the work in. We got a 6 for you, good sir. And an 8. Let's give you one more. And a 6. Appreciate the like, appreciate the shares, subscribes, appreciate you guys all being here as we navigate and do our best to put the work in and try to even define what that means. Lost in anxiety, depression, grief, this stuck feeling of spinning your tires can be a horrible thing. Navigating mental health by ourselves, using this broken mechanism to define the problem is part of the problem. And number 7 is going to be try something new, which is another thing that we're doing here today. And for me, yesterday, that meant reaching out, and I finally went to Liberty Resources. I did the intake for therapy, and we're going to see how that goes. We're going to try something new. We're going to move forward to the best of our ability. Number 8, I'm going to say journaling. Something I've been trying to do lately, something I've been doing the last couple days, just kind of putting onto paper exactly how I feel in the morning. Defining it exactly, for me, kind of helps me take control of it. It doesn't alleviate it completely, but you have a hard time getting out of this moment. And I think looking back at that, like this morning, looking back at the last couple days, has helped me to understand how lucky I am this morning not to wake up with pins and needles in my nerves and feeling anxious and lost and purposelessness, this overwhelming sense of purposelessness. Again, I find myself wanting to apologize today, but I'm always going to be exactly who I am in any given moment, and I want you to strive to do that as well. I feel like it's not the most appealing thing in the world, right? To not be on the ball, right? And I condemn myself for not being able to be this charismatic, enlightened human being all the time. But we're humans and we fluctuate, and that's okay. It's got to be okay. Who you are in any given moment is all right. Good. Gratitude. Yes, to be grateful. Thank you. 9. Gratitude. To be grateful for this moment. Is that what that says, or am I tripping? I need glasses. Gratitude is a big one. It is a big one. Thank you, good sir. 360. I would love to share something, but unfortunately my coping mechanisms are unhealthy. So here's the thing, man. Let's identify those coping mechanisms that are unhealthy. You put it out there into the universe. It's part of the whole journaling thing. Good, bad, or indifferent, identifying these things will help 360. I can guarantee you that. If your coping mechanisms aren't helping you, identify them and be honest with us and with yourself about it, and we're here for you. It's easier to hold ourselves accountable when we put out there into the universe to people that we care for, right? The reaching out. Number 5, man, reach out. You're reaching out right now. Reach out fully. Be honest with these unhealthy coping mechanisms so that you can push forward and do something different, man. I mean, that's the biggest suggestion. If you don't feel comfortable with that, that's fine too, brother. Either way, no judgment here. We love you deeply. We've got 11 votes so far. 100% of people said that they're willing to share what helps with their mental health, and we appreciate that. 11 people. Thank you guys so much. Signs. How can I overcome your addiction to adult entertainment, as also wondering my mental health? These are things that you're going to have to look into, brother. I'm not exactly sure. I don't have an answer for that for you, but it does indicate that there is a bigger problem here. Your problem isn't not having a woman. Your problem is you, right? And I'm not saying that in a way to demean you or anything else, but everything we're talking about here, Signs, everything you're bringing up, there's obviously some that's a hell of a coping mechanism, right? That's one of those things we were talking about. Let's identify a negative coping mechanism. Adult entertainment it can be a negative coping mechanism that releases endorphins and allows us to feel something for a moment. This instant gratification. It's one of those instant gratification things. That isn't long-term healing. And appreciate you, Signs. Appreciate you acknowledging that. You have an addiction to this thing that soothes you. That's not a good thing. There's the first step that whatever you are right there. You're right. This is the first step. Admitting there's a problem. Admitting that you utilize this coping mechanism that isn't healthy too damn much. And that takes a strong individual to do so. And I appreciate you, man. How can I overcome yep, there we are. 360 smoke tons of weed, sometimes boozes, therapy and buying stuff, retail therapy and buying stuff deep. Yeah, those are all, thank you 360 for now. Those are some other very hazardous coping mechanisms. I think that cannabis, medication, is definitely a good resource, but overutilizing any resource can cause some real issues, my friend. And acknowledging that 360, these things that aren't necessarily helping you. Smoking tons of weed probably isn't helping you, man. That's a decision you have to make. What the level of cannabis that helps you is. I'll be honest with you, lately I haven't been smoking at all. I've taken a break from cannabis. I think that CBD is something I need to get back into, but I refuse to spend any money or take these actions to take care of myself. Part of today is holding myself accountable. Holding ourselves accountable for these things. That's 11. After medication, holding ourselves accountable. Hold yourself accountable for these things, these things that we're talking about, the adult entertainment addiction, this utilizing this medication that turns into a poison. One of the biggest realizations I had as a younger man was that any medication can become a poison if overused. Even intimacy. Obviously with the adult entertainment addiction that Signs is dealing with, the smoking too much cannabis, and the boozing, when that becomes hazardous for your emotional health, and we're using it to mask this pain. It feels like a medicine in the moment, right? Because it alleviates this stress and this pain right now. But I've found that these things that help us immediately don't help long term. And I'm not saying cannabis isn't a good medicine. What I'm saying is that overutilizing anything, and what's good for you in this moment might not be what's been good for you in the past. There's one for you. Take care of yourself physically. So 12, we're going to hydrate. Water. Food. And exercise. 3 things that I need to work on. Be part of my goal. Now, not eating the best today, but I'm eating something. We're having hash browns. We're sitting here having a conversation. To reach out. I think we already got something. Maybe we didn't. Who knows? We'll go through these later and define them. Try to clean it up a little bit for another live so we can express all of these things. You're right, Signs. Well, I appreciate you. Thank you for being open and honest with us, Signs. I know how hard it can be, man. Turn off the apps that throw it in your face all the time. I had to uninstall Reddit for the exact reason. Put down the technology. I don't know about that. That sounds like a good one. Put down the tech. We're already like that. And for me, it's doom scrolling. I'll be honest with you. On this app, on YouTube, that's on the top of my list of things to change, is to stop being stuck in that doom scrolling that subsides me. It's another one of those instant gratifications that isn't the long term. Not at all. It makes everything worse. All these instant gratifications, the adult entertainment, the overconsumption of cannabis or booze, the impulse buying that feels good in this moment, are all things that make us feel good in this moment, that give us this endorphin release that feels so good, but it's so fleeting that we chase it again and again and again. And society is set up for this. These apps are set up to play on this. The retail market is set up to play on this thing. And we all, I think a lot of us get wrapped up into that. I know I do, especially in the holiday seasons, right? Buy, consume more. It feels so good in the moment, and then you got to do it again. And it's like, I think that's the thing to recognize. We're talking about negative coping mechanisms. If it helps you for a moment, fleet, and then is instantly fleeting, and you need to do that action again to catch that sense of solace, I don't think that's a positive coping mechanism. The buying, the smoking, the drinking. Now, I'm not saying that any of this stuff can't be positive in your life. But we have to find a balance. But thank you, Misled Utopia, for that realization. Yeah, put down the tech. Stop doom scrolling. Put down Reddit if that's your issue. I don't know anything about Reddit or how that works. Slow down, right? Go back to number 1. Slow the fuck down today. Take a chill pill. You know, metaphorically and maybe physically if you need one. Don't get wrapped up into what you're doing has to be forever, because for me, that paralyzes me from taking another step. You know, I have medication. We already kind of put that down, but medication, pharmaceutical medication, that can be a good thing, right? That's how a lot of people cope. That's how, oh, there we go. 360 says booze, aka Xanax, Klonopin. Now, that falls under the medication thing for sure. That's exactly what I was just about to get into. I take gabapentin for my anxiety lately. It's something I've took in the past that I took minimally that seemed like it helped with where I was. I don't know if being older or I don't know what is different about it, but it's affecting me in a different way at this time. And I've realized that is me masking the symptoms. I'm trying to, mask the anxiety with this medication. Now it's helping, and I'm not saying not to do it because I'm still taking it for now. But I'm also taking the steps to get some proper education on medication and what might be right for me, and to define the core problem of what it is with me. I know that I have ADD. Maybe I need to try some medication for that. Maybe it is bipolar. I'm not sure. I won't know unless I speak to a professional, right? Get over that fear of being opened, and that fear of even taking medication, that fear of permanence, this fear that it might help and I might need to be on it, and then I could lose my Medicaid. And, I have a big stigma with that, because I feel like that's why my brother Rob relapsed. And that's what his relapse ended up taking him, because his Medicaid got shut off and he wasn't able to get the medication. So it's hard for me to advocate for medication. But I'm not sure. I'm not sure what's good for you. I'm not sure what the best thing to do is. But that's the work, right? That's the work we're putting in, trying to define for you what's good for you. But as in a whole, as human beings, I think that, taking care of ourselves physically is a big thing that I've been neglecting. And I can tell you that for sure. Not eating, not hydrating, and not exercising. These things, I'm not going to tackle all of those things right now today, because that'll negate the slow and steady. But by evaluating these things and putting the work in through that notebook, through that journal, I think is going to help a lot. I'm going to focus on that today after this, organizing these suggestions and starting off slow. What can I do today? In that journal yesterday and the day before, I was adamant about drinking some water. Yeah, I got a bottle of water in each day. Today, I'm going to drink a bottle of water. Slow and steady. I'm going to give myself that credit, because I had, we don't realize, we get so wrapped up in the hustle and bustle, maybe the torment of your mind and the pain that you're in. And we self-sabotage. I self-sabotage by not doing these simple things, right? They seem like they don't matter, but they're all little pieces of the puzzle that'll help us heal. When I'm in my right mind and feeling well, I understand it, and it's a lot easier to do these small things. Maybe somewhere inside I feel like I deserve the torment, despite the fact that I don't and you don't. Let me catch up here a little bit. Sorry, guys. I'm ranting a little bit. I'm lighting a bong now. That does help. It seems like a Band-Aid. Well, I appreciate you recognizing that. And I think there is some medical value there. I know there's some medical value there. For me, at times, there's this medical value that it seems like lately there isn't. So I got to evaluate that. But I appreciate you, 360. Then you do what you got to do to settle your nerves. For me right now, with everything I've been going through, that's something it's hard for me to even admit. It's hard for me to set it down, because it's been this coping mechanism that I've had for my entire life. But I think that being in my right mind for a while and not numbing for a bit in that way, and maybe it's because this medication that I'm on, it doesn't quite work right with it. Maybe it's the I'm very strand sensitive. Maybe that's part of it too, but I'm not going to worry about that. I'm just going to take a break from it for a bit, for me. And I'm not saying that that's what's best for you, brother. I'm not sure. I don't know. Dude, I've showed my smoking too. I've slowed my smoking too, trying not to until after work now. But at the end of the day, I can enjoy it better. That sounds like a really good time and place, right? With medication, let's put that time and place is a good coping mechanism. What and when and where, right? I think that coming up with these strategies and these guidelines for ourselves that work for you is a good positive thing. Thank you for acknowledging that and sharing that with us, Misled Utopia. I appreciate that deeply. You know, it can be a hard thing to feel like you're condemning something that helps you, you know, but we got to recognize when that medicine becomes a poison, you know, and if that means for you slowing down and after work so that you can maintain and do what you got to do, I think that's an amazing thing. Do we have to get some sun in our face? Yes. I think that's a good one. Outside, sun in your face. I think that's a beautiful suggestion to help with your mental health. Release that vitamin D, feel connected. Get out and away from that technology for a little while and fall back into more of a natural state. Is an amazing suggestion. Thank you, Rob. We appreciate you deeply. So we can. I think smoking a ton of herb can make me forget about my addiction forever in this life. So and now here's the thing too, man. If you're using that as a medication to not use something else, that's something else I highly recommend. I'm not going to recommend anything, but for you, you have to make that decision, and I'd much rather see you utilizing that medicine, because whatever your addiction is not medicine. That's an extreme form of self-soothing that's toxic, right? So, you know, get away from those things that'll take you out of this world, man. And cannabis ain't going to take you out of this world. It might kill your motivation a little bit. It might, you know, be a self-soothing, numbing thing that we do for a while. I mean, who am I to say, right? I'm on this medication that's numbing, right? That's helping me subside the anxiety. Sally, think back to when you were happy. Personally, not because of others. Think on that and go back to that. Thank you, Sally. Sally, say back to happy. Think about those times. What brought you to that place? I like that, Sally. Thank you so much. Back to happy. Think back to happy. It can be hard sometimes, you know, especially during the holidays. The best holiday I ever had was with my brother and my nieces and nephews and my sister, and you know, these things are gone, but acceptance through that, you know, and you're not alone. These people that you've loved, that you've lost, they're with us. At the very least, in our actions and how we move through this world, the ones that we love that have gone on their journey are defining us on a daily basis. And that's a beautiful thing. Thank you, Sally, for that reminder. That's one I need to work on. Slow it down. There you go, 360. Make a list. That's it. The list. Not outside the journal, the list. Some goals, right? Some today goals. And again, take it slow and steady. You can't pile yourself up with a million things that you got to do, because that's where I end up crushing myself as well, because I don't end up doing everything, right? And then I'm a POS. But slow and steady. I think a list is a very good idea for coping mechanisms, you know? Some goals to when and where, right? Time and place we're going to utilize these medications, or what we can do next. And it's not easy, right? It took me, God, the last couple months have been pretty crazy, and it took me the last couple months of serious threats to actually get in there to start this ball rolling into therapy. And it's not like there's, you know, it's slow and steady, because it's not going to happen tomorrow, right? I was able to go and speak to someone yesterday with the intake, and We got to take it easy on ourselves. Spend time at work. Spending time at work is an escape for me. I guess it's healthy since it makes me money. There's a balance there too, 360. I think, um, 18. Let's say balance of work and living. Because I've been there too, right? We find a sense of purpose. We get so wrapped up in what we're doing when we're doing it. And it can give us this sense of purpose. But what happens when that stops? When you go home and the music stops, right? I don't necessarily think it's unhealthy, but it can be, right? Too much work, too much saturation in that, in like anything, right? Too many video games, too much herb, too much distraction, too much doom scrolling can take a positive into a negative, can turn that poison, that medicine into a poison for us. Scott, Mr. Boston, here's my secret: listening to old books such as Self-Resilience. All right, old books, I guess. I'm gonna put that. Text me the name of that book in one of my shorts there, Mr. Boston. I'll look into that. Waldo Emerson. Is that who wrote the book? Signs. What's where have you? They have many lessons. Breadcrumbs that will lead you eventually to even more sacred serenity. Secret successities. I'm sorry, Boston. I'm out of it today, brother. Breathe. You will find the way to build the bridge and to get over emotions. I do not put Band-Aids on gunshot wounds, brother. Thank you, Mr. Boston. I think that's a hell of a piece of advice. Don't put Band-Aids on gunshot wounds, right? I kind of feel like that's where I'm at with this medication that I'm on. I'm not regretting trying it, and I'm not saying that you shouldn't try something different, right? No matter what it is, try it something different, good, bad, or indifferent. You're making a move forward. Like Al would say, do something with yourself. Do anything, and that feeling of uselessness will leave you. If you don't know, how do you condemn it, right? If you're not sure, how are you going to condemn it? How can I regrow my hair? I'm 22 years old, and I'm not sure. Signs you're asking. These are things that are outside of my realm. We're working on emotional and mental health. Well, your well-being. I'm not sure if anybody's got some suggestions for signs out there with his hair. I haven't had that problem, so I wouldn't know. Would you mind sharing the name of this medication? The medication that I'm taking is gabapentin. It's a generic Neurontin. I think it's a nerve blocker that I took about a decade ago for a period of time that helped me to get through another one of these fluctuations that I was in. It's a little different this time around, and I'm struggling with the numbing nature of it. I'm struggling with still this fluctuation, and I'm struggling with this understanding that I am treating the symptom and not the problem is how I'm feeling, and I don't know. That's why I'm reaching out for the therapy. But again, all these things when it comes to mental health, I don't advise anybody, right? Because what might work for me might not work for you. But this is not something that I want to be on forever. This is not something that I want to do continuously. I'm not sure. I'm not here speaking because I know. I'm speaking here because I'm seeking to the best of my ability. The secret's to stop touching it, Mr. Boston says. Your finger produce oils. That makes sense. The hair naturally is oily. Hats also can be no good, as sunlight is what your body needs for vitamins. Thank you for helping out signs there, Mr. Boston. Um, Scott, gabapentin is not for anxiety. It's only for nerve pain. Sally, they definitely subscribe it for anxiety. You can Google it. And again, I'm not saying that it's the perfect medication, and I'm not saying that it's even what's right for me at the moment, but it's been helping. It seems to help with the cascade of this body and mind snowball effect, to kind of settle the nerves in very low doses, for people with anxiety. But yeah, it's something that was suggested to me a while ago, and they do it. It is subscribed for anxiety. You can definitely check that out. Not to say right, wrong, or indifferent. I don't know. And yeah, for nerve pain, for a lot of other things as well, they use this medication for. I appreciate your concern, Sally, very much so. It won't. Gabapentin will lead into future. Nephropathy. I'm not sure what that is, Mr. Boston. I appreciate your concern. It won't. It's a crutch. You're right. Yes, Scott. I'm not sure exactly where we are. Thank you, Mr. Boston. It does not work for anxiety. It works for cutting off nerves. And again, I have to disagree with you, Mr. Boston. Google it. They do subscribe gabapentin for anxiety. Lead to nerve damage. And it might. I'm not trying to be on this forever. It's just something that worked for me in the past that helped me to utilize, to find a way through this anxiety and stress. And probably it might not be the best idea. Maybe it is. Maybe it isn't. Like I said, I'm still having these fluctuations, taking a very low dose of this. And the buildup of in the nerves themselves. I appreciate your concern and your knowledge, Mr. Boston. Thank you. 11 years. My brother too, probably, yeah, about 11 years. Very people who love you recharge your batteries. 110%, right? Back to the reach out. And I do. I would love to come see you guys. I miss you so much. I appreciate you deeply. Not happy because of others. When you are happy, period. Not because of others. To be honest with you, I think that first trip that I took to the Keys was the first time that I ever did anything for myself, anything. I have to admit that I have this issue with codependence. I've realized. And I need to figure out a way to love and take care of myself. Care for myself. There we go. Care for yourself. Seems like a good medicine for mental health. Emotionally, care for yourself in general, right? It can be hard to do when that codependence is an issue. And I appreciate you, Sally. You're right. I need to figure out a way to actually do for me. To share a book. It's about mastering your own mind. When you master it, you can control your emotions and feelings. I appreciate that, Mr. Boston. Please feel free to share it here or share it in one of my comments, and I'll take a look at it here later on. You end up choosing to feel what you're welcome, and what you think most about you become. So focus on being happy, being focused on yourself and feeling happy. You're become that one thing. Thank you, Mr. Boston. Mr. Wonderful. Anytime I get woke up for your streams, I know it's going to be a good day. Thank you, Mr. Wonderful. I'm doing my best here. It's starting to feel a little bit whatever, and may not be on the ball as much as possible, or as whatever. Slow and steady. Nice and easy. It's Let's see what we got going on here. Mr. Boston, Society. Yes, the name of the book was Self-Relevance. Mr. Boston, will you do me a favor and put that in one of my comments of one of my shorts, and I'll make sure that I dig a little bit deeper into that. Shit. I find myself wanting to apologize. I find myself wanting to explain. Don't do that. You don't need to apologize where you are or what you are. Take the advice you'd give to a loved one. How about that? There's a piece of good advice for your mental health. That's what I'm trying to do here. And I appreciate all the open, honest communication. I appreciate all the concerns and the expressions of love and compassion. Just know that I'm doing my best to navigate this thing, this physical being. And you're all so right. And you're all amazing and appreciated more than I could say. Sally, especially, I appreciate you. I don't want to feel like I'm contradicting you or I know that everything you say and do is out of love. And maybe this medication isn't the best. That's why I'm talking to a therapist, because I know that without it, where I end up before the last time I took a trip is where I was ending up, in this place where I couldn't speak. I couldn't express myself. I was wrapped in anxiety and stress and self-loathing to the point where I had to get out and run. I guess what I'm trying to do is figure out a way to heal myself so I'm not running from, so I'm running towards, or so that the next trip doesn't have to end in this crash. I can find a way to live in a peaceful way. And I'm not sure what any of that means, to be honest with you. I'm not sure, I know better days are coming. I know that this moment is kind of a struggle. I'm struggling in this moment. I'm struggling to express myself. I'm struggling to embody this understanding and to put in the work, right? The work isn't going to be easy. And I am doing my best to be humble and appreciative for you all to be here. I appreciate you, Mr. Boston. The reminder, breathe, slow down a little bit. Edith, did I miss Edith? How did I miss Edith? See a hello to Edith here, and I do not see Edith anywhere. If you're out there, Edith, I appreciate and love you. There you are. Hello, beautiful souls. Hi, Edith. We're talking about coping mechanisms. We're talking about how we help ourselves with our mental health. I'm looking to gather some tools. That's what I'm looking to do. Slow myself down. Get wrapped up in things. I start to feel a little bit anxious. I'm starting to feel a little bit anxious, but it's all right. It's okay. They're finding some tools that help us move forward. 16 people in our vote today. We're at 94%. It's pretty high, higher than usual. I appreciate all of you expressing what helps you to move forward. Big part of the work that I'll be doing here on my own is evaluating these suggestions and starting to work on them slow and steady, because all of these things, something's got to change, something's got to give. And thank you. Let me write down the name of that book just in case. I appreciate you. Self-reliance. Self-reliance. Let me check this book out. Thank you, Mr. Boston. It's all right. Over there, Edith. Mr. Wonderful, good to see you. It's good to see you all. Sitting still is nation. And I am guilty of that. Thank you, Mr. Boston, for expressing yourself. The Master Key System, 1916 by Charles F. So it's another good book for you. All right, let me write that down as well. I did this ADD sometimes. Books aren't really my forte, but that's something maybe that'll help me to focus. Something else I can work on. The master system. The master key system. (1916) by Charles F. Thank you, Mr. Boston. It's worse than weed. Are we still talking about the medication? I'm almost sure of it. And yeah, I'm not debating that at all. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just doing my best. By the Salvation Union. Cost. Thank you, Sally. Oh, they used to treat bipolar and psychotic people. What are we talking about? They used it. Yeah, you're still talking about gabapentin, I think. If you combine it with, you have GHB. They put me on it for the nerve pain. It works. Yeah, it definitely helps to alleviate some of the symptoms, but I think the idea is to figure out the core problem. Is where I'm trying to get at. I'm sorry, I can't express. What am I just go dark for? I think. Hang on one second, guys. My apologies. Because we're at 5%. Let's see if we can't plug the phone in and continue our conversation. There we go. I've been on it before. The max dose of it, and it does not help me. It hurt me. I love you, Scott. Else I would not have come. I love you as well, Mr. Boston, and I appreciate that, all of this. I appreciate the open, honest communication. I just got your thing through the Discord there. Fibromyalgia is going to kill me. And I'm glad that medication is working for you, Sally. I know that you struggle with that deeply, and I appreciate you expressing yourself today. Okay, and anything else can mean a thing. It is a chronic pain condition that causes symptoms, severe erotic shock, like pain in the face. Thank you, Mr. Boston, for helping us understand. Triggered by a nervous, which is responsible for shooting pain. Something that our dear friend Sally deals with, like eating, taking, breathing. Yes, that's exactly what it is. Fibromyalgia. Mental health is not a decision, but it's a process. It's about how you drive, not where you're going. Thank you, Edith. I like that. Because it is about the journey. It's about taking steps. And God, it's so hard. The anxiety, this anxiousness is starting to build because I'm not sure where I'm going, what I'm doing in this moment, right? But thank you. You're right, Edith. Always with the amazing and beautiful quotes. I'm going to set down the rolling the dice. I'm feeling a little bit overwhelmed, but I want to continue this conversation. Yes, that'd be great, Mr. Boston. You can put it on Discord. That's something that I get notifications. I will, very much so. Thank you. Start the day by, I'm happy and I'm healthy and I'm very much alive. That's a beautiful piece of advice. And as Al would say, start your day giving thanks. happy, healthy. It can be hard when you're not feeling healthy. Um, it can be hard when you're feeling anxious. It can be hard when you're feeling lost and not understand why. But I appreciate you, Mr. Boston Sally. I'll give. I appreciate you being proud, Sally. I appreciate you being here for me. I appreciate everything that you do as an amazing human being. Country. Hey there, country. Thank you, Anthony. I appreciate the God of your understanding, brother. The Creator loves you as well. Run towards the dream, brother, and let the sword rest as long as God is happy. Happiness is how you make it. Thank you, Krankenstein. I'm glad you have that self-control too. Moonshine can be a tricky little bitch. Um, thank you. I wrote it down as well, but if you put it on Discord, that would be very helpful. They're there for free. Thank you, Mr. Boston. Crank, cool showers. That's another big thing that kind of hit me the other day. I had quite the anxiety attack on Thanksgiving, and I had heard of this, and I blasted myself. I can't like sit in a cold shower, but I blasted myself with that cold a few different times, and it helped. It helped a lot. So yeah, cold showers. We're gonna put that down. The polar plunges, they are supposed to help as well, but I can't even. Goals and freedom. Drive to get what you want. True. Made it out. I'm glad you made it out, Crank. It's about self-control. Thank you, Mr. Boston. By the Master Key Society. The secret society of Yale University. James. Good morning, James. I appreciate seeing you today, good sir. Appreciate you being here. Hello, hello, Mr. Boston. Yes. There are some drawbacks to the medication that I'm taking, and that's why I'm seeking help. And to be honest with you, in this moment, there's some fear of taking it and not taking it. I'm not completely paralyzed by this anxiety that's building in me at this moment because of that. But there's also some huge drawbacks. I want to be able to be me. That's why we're doing this, putting the work in. That's why I'm doing this. That's why we're doing this together, right? So that we can find a way to find some peace and hold on to that peace. Practice mindfulness techniques such as deep breathing, positive muscle relaxation, or guided meditation. Yes, all beautiful, beautiful suggestions. Mindfulness. Mindfulness. Meditation, guided breathing. And again, it's hard dealing with these things. I dropped the 916 Keymaster system in your Discord. Thank you. Full book for free. You're amazing and awesome. I put the other book on there too. I was headed to a bad place, 3 years of chronic pain, and it was enough. I feel like I've been dealing with a lifetime of this fluctuation. In starting this journey here on YouTube, I was in that manic upward end through running from this same exact feeling that's catching up with me again, and I'm looking to do something different. The Alchemist. Thank you. All these book suggestions. I'm getting a little overwhelmed with writing things down, starting to feel a bit overwhelmed, but I'm not going anywhere for a little while. Breathe, my friend. going to be a good day. It's going to be a good day because we're going to make it. We're going to make it through today in a positive and appreciative way, with hope, love, and appreciation in my heart to the best of my ability. Love you, Scott. Got to get back to work. The world is yours. Grab it and by the bazinga and take it. Thank you for the advice, Crank. We'll see you again soon, Crank. It's the heart that illuminates the mind. Thank you, Mr. Boston. Physical activities that bring you joy, such as walking, yoga, or dancing. Yes, Edith. I think physical activity is definitely on our list, and that's. I'm going to take some time later on to be mindful and evaluate these things and come up with a game plan. I thought I had a game plan going into it, feeling a little. I was, I don't know why this is building up on me, but it's all right. We're going to stick through it together, and I appreciate all the advice. His and hers. Hey, Ninja. What's up, my Ninja? It's good to see you, his and hers. It's been a while. Evaluating some coping mechanisms today for our mental health, finding a way back to that push a fart. That helps. I'm sure it does. That's part of my issue, Edith, is the sleep. I'm working on that as well. Speaking with this counselor therapist yesterday, realizing that there are some things with my sleep that could be ADD related. That is why I'm looking forward to kind of using is Jesus. Well, they say that, right? In the past, I didn't have a problem using it for a while, then not. But it's always an issue, and I'm not sure why. But it is something that I've been taking lately that I'm not too personally into for myself, and I want to change that. The answer you are looking for, find deep within your heart, the sense of all power and mystery. Thank you, Quest. Don't touch your phone when you wake up, nor an hour before you go to sleep. We got a no tech in there, but I think that's going to be a rule I'm going to put down on this list I make later on. Make that a goal. No tech an hour before. Sleep or after getting up. Because as I acknowledged before, like the tech thing has been an issue with me, this doom scrolling and immediately going to that and using that instant gratification to kind of alleviate. That's one of the negative coping mechanisms that I've been using. There we go. We're at the bottom. Thank you, Quest. I appreciate you deeply for coming in and sharing that bit of knowledge. And you're right. We got to find the strength to do these things. We have to find the strength to and I love you as well, Sally. I'm gonna have to get the day started here as well soon. Get back on track and focus on me. Focus on yourself today. Focus on what it's going to take to alleviate that pain and stress you find yourself in. I appreciate all of you and all of the suggestions. And despite this feeling that's creeping up on me today, the ability to express myself. Thank you, Creator, for this life, this ability to still be looking down at the ground, despite the struggle that comes along with it. Mandela, or just like medication? Scared geothermal helps. I'm not sure what that is. Maybe I misread that. I'm good. I'm a bit anxious, and I'm not sure why. Anytime, Mr. Boston. You guys are absolutely amazing. I think I have quite a bit to evaluate and some work to put in here later on. I'm going to take my own advice and start simply. In this moment, I'm going to get out and do a little bit of spark driving and make a couple bucks and leave it at that. Mandela. Yeah, right? Yeah, Mr. Boston is absolutely amazing. Support groups. Something else to look into, Edith, and I think that's an amazing idea. All right. Well, here's. I think the basic idea of this was to find some things. We found some things. We've got some suggestions. Maybe that's why I'm starting to feel overwhelmed, because there's quite a bit. And there's quite a bit of work to be done. It's a picture you look at. To empty the mind of thoughts. Okay. I appreciate that. I appreciate all of it, and I'm not going to apologize because when I go into this mode of anxiousness that's creeping up on me, starting to feel overwhelmed with all these possibilities and everything that's going on in this moment, um, that's my coping mechanism, right? If I just apologize, feel great for sleeping. And worrying solves nothing. Yeah, as Al would say, he didn't understand anxiety, but he knew that when I was in that place of anxiousness, it was because I was living in all the different rivers down all at once, right? All the different splits in the river all at once. Find a sense of peace by being in the river in the moment that you're in, because we can only go one direction when we get there. Very much so, Quest. I appreciate you finding us today. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate everybody's advice. I had to admit in this moment feeling a bit overwhelmed. I went into this with this sense of peace to try to find some solutions. Slow and steady now. Slow and steady. Bridge behind you. There is only forward, never backwards. Thank you, Quest. I appreciate you coming in and expressing yourself today. And I don't have a Sharpie, but I'm going to make sure that the Quest gets up onto the Ceiling of Champions here sometime soon, buddy. I hope you decided to become part of the Turtle Herd if you haven't already. If you have and you've been around and I just don't remember you because I'm starting to feel a little bit anxious and out of it, I appreciate you deeply. Our poll is at 95% of people are willing to share what helps with their mental health. And that's a beautiful thing. I think that reflects this understanding that through this struggle gives us empathy. There's the silver lining there. There's the silver lining. I appreciate you guys for coming in. I'm going to take a little time, find a sense of center, go and do some spark driving, and spend some time with my sister. Get out of your own head, get out of your own house, get moving and get moving forward. Hydrate, care for yourself. We'll go over a few of these things that we've come up with together. You know what? It's a little much for me right now. I'm feeling a bit overwhelmed. And I appreciate you, Quest. I appreciate you speaking up and finally being part of the conversation. That means a lot. Despite this feeling that I feel in this moment, I also feel grateful to have you all here. I feel grateful that we can start to define this. The work is a struggle, right? It's not going to be easy to find ourselves a way out of this struggle that we've consumed ourselves with. And I need to be okay with that. Be okay with facing the struggle, right? The work is in progress. I appreciate the acknowledgement, Quest. Break down larger goals into smaller. Crank. Look at that, Crank. Our first ever super chat from Crank, brother. I appreciate you deeply. Put yourself. Love you, Scott. Pop that YouTube. Look at that. That's absolutely amazing. Again, we just became monetized. I don't know what that means. Well, I do know what that means to a certain extent. But Crank, our first super chat, man. Congratulations to you. And I appreciate you deeply for popping that for me and starting the ball rolling with your donation, which, again, anything that comes in through this way is going to be part of the Next Right Thing. It's going to go into that account so that we can once... Jesus Christ. And there it is, right? The anxiety sets in and I start to feel stressed. I lose my ability to communicate. And even then, who knows? We never stop learning until we're dead. And even though, who knows? And one of Al's greatest quotes was, if I woke up perfect today, there'd be no point in going on, right? Life's about learning and growing and pushing forward and humbling ourselves. We can solve that with Mr. Boston's books. I'm going to look into this, and hopefully if I can get these books, audio books, and kind of listen to them, that might be better for me to digest this stuff. Write down your thoughts, feelings, and expressions and process and reflect on your emotions. Thank you, Edith, for expressing that. That was part of what I was mentioning earlier. Or one of these things that I've been doing is I started to kind of journal in the morning. So I can reflect on a daily basis on where I'm at and exactly how I feel to alleviate that. And that's a beautiful piece of advice. Yes, out of my head and onto a piece of paper, right? Has been a tool that's starting to help me. They're all audios. That's awesome. I appreciate that. Very expensive to buy. Old leather bound. Oh, I'm sure. And for me, with this ADD and this bit of dyslexia, as you guys can't tell sometimes, especially when I start to get anxious, everything's with open, honest communication. These are my faults, and that's okay. I appreciate me, I respect me, and I love me, and I want you to do the same despite your downfalls, despite the struggle, despite the anxiety, despite the stress and grief and pain that we find ourselves in. Love yourself as you would love somebody outside of you. That's the biggest piece of advice I can give. That's the biggest piece of stabilizing my mental health that I'm still working on. Is finding a way to take myself out of it, give myself the advice that I would give to someone I love, and take that advice in a true and open way. Self-compassion, exactly what we're talking about, Edith. By treating yourself with kindness and understanding and patience. Yes, in a manner that you would treat someone you love. Evaluate how you treat the people you love and treat yourself that way. That's something that, and take the advice that you would give. That's why I went yesterday, and I'm starting this therapy journey, despite the struggles I have with this, because I know that I can't do it alone. That's why I'm being as open as I can here today, to try to identify some solutions for all of us, right? For me particularly, to be honest with you, we've got to put ourselves first, our emotional well-being, and love ourselves the way that we love others. That was the biggest promise I made to Steve when he passed. I know that without words, he expressed to me that he wanted me to love myself the way that he loved me as a brother, and as a compassionate, caring human being. And I faltered on that. But I won't hold that against myself. I'll continue to strive to have that compassion and love for myself, not only honoring my brother, but honoring myself the way that I honored him. All become one. Don't just take it. And you're right. Start walking the walk. Don't practice what you preach, and that's something else. And self-forgiveness is key. Thank you, Quest. I really appreciate you jumping in today, man. I appreciate you becoming part of the conversation. And, Edith as well. And Mr. Boston, you've been amazing today. Admitting where I'm starting to feel a little bit overwhelmed, but that's all right. We can acknowledge this and move forward. I think is part of the key as well. And I'm doing my best to do all of these things, and I'm going to give myself the credit for doing these things, for getting on today despite not feeling like I have any answers, but getting on to strive to communicate with you, my brothers and sisters, so we can find the answers and hold myself accountable by having it out there. When I say I'm going to do something to someone I care for, I'm more prone to do these things. So I will be doing that work by identifying these things and making small goals to take small steps towards being a healthier, emotionally healthier individual. Embrace healthy boundaries with others to protect your time, energy, and emotional overall being. And that's something as well that I struggle with. Through this codependence, and there's no meetings around here, but I get invited to an online meeting every week, every Monday, and that's gonna be on my goals of things to do is to go to that meeting next Monday. The key to turning into strength. Transformation is the key to ancient alchemy based spiritual gold. Spiritual alchemy is something that Rob chats about. I think that's a beautiful thing, right? To be able to I'm not going to run away from the anxiety. I'm going to face it head on and do my best to be a better human being in any given moment. Space is more valuable than time. From bad emotions into good positive vibrations. Thank you. Acknowledge and celebrate your achievements, no matter how small they may seem. Yes, very much so. Small victories add up to a large run. Yes. It's all those steps that get us there, right? Slow and steady. I think acknowledging all of this and letting it be exactly what it needs to be, because it is exactly what it needs to be in any given moment. Even the stress and pain that life can be full of at times. Breathe. Take your time today. Give thanks to God of your understanding for the beauty in this world. And with that, I'm going to take a few minutes, and I'm going to push forward with love and acceptance and appreciation in my heart to the best of my ability. I want to thank all of you for coming in today. I want to thank everybody for sharing their coping mechanisms and for acknowledging these negative coping mechanisms that some of us indulge in. Taking one small step towards emotional sobriety through open, honest communication. The quest, living in the moment, whilst most are stuck up by the past. Look backwards and forwards, and in the moment apply them. The trick is not to stumble. Thank you, Mr. Boston. Yeah, the past and the future, right? This moment. Find a way to breathe and appreciate the moment that we're in. Beautiful piece of advice. Always on point, Mr. B. Damn straight he is. An amazing, appreciated member of the Turtle Herd. present moment rather than dwelling on the past or worrying about the future. Beautiful piece of advice, Edith. There's the key. This moment, right? How do we stay in this moment? How do we find a way past all of it? My homelessness and getting to me lately, but we're out here forward, 1% better. Thank you, W. I appreciate that acknowledgement. I appreciate being able to be with you guys today in an open, honest way, despite my fluctuating mental state. I appreciate all the advice. I appreciate you there, Scott W. And the philosophy of being 1% better will help me to push forward. And I'm going to hold myself accountable by continuing the work to find a stable place inside my own mind. And if you struggle with that, you're in the right place. We're doing our best to move forward with kindness and compassion in our heart. I appreciate and love every last one of you for being here today and expressing yourself, accepting me for exactly what I am in this moment, despite the struggle. With that, I'm off like a herd of turtles. I'm going to see you soon. And we're going to keep working on this slow and steady, one step at a time. I hope that some of the things we've talked about today can help you find compassion and help me find compassion for myself and where we end up being at times. Find a sense of center and appreciation for what we have in this moment, even though it might not be exactly what we want. Peace profound. I love you all deeply. My brothers, my sisters. You're valued and loved and appreciated. And I know that wholeheartedly. And I'm taking that love and appreciation that I have, and I'm understanding that I deserve that as well. So with that being said, I hope you beautiful creatures have a beautiful day. Thank you for being a member of the Turtle Herd. Thank you for joining us. Crank, thank you for the $5. Our first super chat donation is absolutely amazing. I appreciate you, Mr. Boston, because that feeling of loneliness, especially in these holidays, can be consuming. But it's all right. You're right. I'm not alone. You guys are always with me. All your guidance, love, and appreciation and acceptance, despite me not being able to be exactly where I wish I could be, is a beautiful gift. You don't have to be anything but you at any given moment. And thank you, Mr. Boston. Yeah, it was a lot of work getting here, and I feel like I've fumbled lately, but it's all right. I'm not perfect. I'm going to accept it. I'm going to accept that it's okay. We're all going to be all right. With that being said, I'm going to get my day rolling, find a sense of center, push forward, take a couple Walmart orders, and I'll talk to you guys again soon. We'll revisit this conversation maybe the next time around. I look forward to chatting with you guys again. Oh, look at that. Mr. W. Look at it. We got our second one. Mr. W, I love you deeply there, Scott W. Thank you so much for our second donation today towards the next right thing through our super chat feature that we just got to unlock. You're absolutely amazing, brother. And I appreciate you deeply. It's absolutely amazing. Have a fantastic day. You too, Quest. Just to yourself, and don't hesitate to reach out for help, like being here and chatting about it. God bless you, and I'm going to do my best. Keep reaching out. Keep doing the best we can. Right now, the best thing I can do is settle down, take a breath, and understand that this moment is exactly what it needs to be. I hope you find that sense of peace as I struggle to find it myself today, and we're going to move forward, be thankful and appreciative to the best of our ability. I am going to do that. And I implore you to do the same by putting in some of the work that some of our amazing friends here have suggested today. 21%, 20 or 90%. So that last person that voted said no either. So we got 10% of people said no. They're not willing to share anything that helps with their mental health. K-Roll. It's good to see you, Coral. I appreciate you. I'm just about to take off. Um, it's been a fluctuation of emotions today, brother. But we're going to see you again soon. I'm going to keep doing my best. Appreciate and love you guys deeply. Scott W., timer's running off on that. We'll let that roll down here for a second before I take off. Take care of yourself today. Do something special for you. Reach out to someone you love and express yourself. 988 is a beautiful tool if you're struggling with your mental health. Thank you for posting that Master Key channel. Mr. Boston, can I get a roll? Oh, yeah, of course. Okay, roll. We'll give you a roll, brother. Let's see what we got here. Sixer and a 7, which gets you another roll. There's a 7, gets you another roll. And then there's a 5. We're going to give you one more because you're my buddy. And another one. There's the doubles we were looking for. And I thought we have you up here before. But we're gonna find you a spot right here. Okay, roll. Right there, brother. For hitting them doubles. We got you tucked away right up in there. Symbolizing your ability to chance and roll the dice today. No problem, brother. With great lessons. I'm gonna look into that, brother, and I appreciate you very much. I am here. I am there somewhere. Yes, K roll. No, you're up there, brother, right there. You're our only friend. All right, so well, Misled Utopia is in pen today too. We only had a couple of you because I kind of got myself overwhelmed with all this beautiful work that we're doing. 91% of people that last vote must have came in. People are willing to share what helps with their mental health. That's amazing. And I was expecting just that. Anybody who struggles with their emotional well-being, you know, I believe has that empathy to want to help others. And I appreciate all the suggestions today. I appreciate all the guidance. I appreciate all the open communication. And I'm going to take some time and reflect on that. Bring myself down from this anxious kind of feeling and move forward with love, respect, and appreciation in my heart. To all of you out there, once again, as I continuously try to say goodbye and move forward, because I appreciate so much being here. I appreciate the acceptance despite the struggle, and I love you all deeply. We love you too, K-Roll, Coral. I don't know what you prefer to be called. I'm kind of out of it today, and it's always good to have you. Do the next right thing. If you're not sure what that is, open yourself up and do anything. Move forward and find love and compassion. Traveling Scott is a classy gentleman. Well, I appreciate that. And agreed, says Mr. Quest. I am a classy broad, without a doubt. You guys are awesome. I love you guys more than I can say. I'm going to take some time for me. And I suggest you do the same. Scott W., Crank, you're amazing co-hosts. You're amazing friends. You're amazing human beings despite the struggle. And I appreciate that we got $10 towards the Next Right Thing fund. That'll, whatever after they take out whatever they take out, because I'm not sure how that works. And I haven't even filled out the paperwork yet. Really. To whatever, but we made $10 towards the Next Right Thing today because of you amazing human being. Life doesn't get easier or more forgiving. We get stronger and more resilient. Take care. Much love. Peace out. Thank you, Edith. You're always full of these amazing quotes of inspirational love, hope, and evaluation that truly helped me. When I look up and see Edith's name, well, I look up and see all your names, but Edith is up there quite a bit for her inspirational understandings. And you're short about the kebab cart or some cart. I really liked it. Thank you, Coral. We appreciate that. Feel free to comment on those. I know I've been slacking on that as well, but that's, Anyway, take some time for yourself today. Love yourself. Find that motivation and respect for you that you have for others because of the struggle you've been through, and understand you deserve love, compassion, and hope in your heart. Again, and for the last time, my serious threats are over. I got to get out of here. Off like a herd of turtles. I gotta go too, brother. I gotta go too. I love you guys. We'll chat again soon. Thanks for everything, guys. The motivation, the appreciation, the love. Thank you, Mr. Boston. I appreciate that deeply, Mr. Boston. You're absolutely amazing, and we're gonna chat later. I gotta go.